I had spent years believing that loneliness was a form of strength. That morning, I discovered how wrong I had been. It happened in a snow covered resort when a woman I had known for barely a day stumbled and instinctively reached for my hand. Neither of us knew that a single moment of support would change the course of our lives. Chapter 4. A Hand to Hold. The next morning, I woke up at my usual time. The hour was the same, but the place was completely different. The weather was chilly, with patches of snow glistening under the warm rays of the morning sun. The snow-covered areas looked colder and lifeless, with hardly any tourists around. Most people had pulled their chairs into the sunlight to soak in its warmth. The scene reflected my own state of mind. I felt like one of those snow-covered places, cold, lonely, and deserted. Yet, just like everyone else, I too stepped outside to enjoy the warmth of the sun. I placed my chair where the sunlight fell, ordered a cup of tea and a newspaper, and settled down. As I lifted the newspaper, my eyes wandered towards the garden. There they were, Aparagita and her two daughters. They were happily playing together. The newspaper immediately lost its importance. The lively scene before me was far more appealing than the stale headlines. Holding my warm cup of tea, I watched them with a smile. And as soon as I finished, I could no longer resist the temptation to join them. After taking their permission, I entered their game. To my surprise, I played like a carefree schoolboy. I ran after the children, dodged them, laughed with them, and forgot every ache and the pain I had carried within me for years. Even Aparajita joined, though she soon became tired. It was my turn to catch everyone. As I ran towards her, she accidentally stepped on an uneven patch of the ground and lost balance. Before she could fall, I caught her in my arms. For a brief moment, our eyes met. I gently helped her regain her balance, but the moment she tried to place her foot on the ground, she winced in pain. "Ugh, I think I twisted my ankle," she whispered. Shristi and Sagarika immediately rushed towards their mother. "Mama, are you all right?" The girls tried their best to support her, but they were too small to bear her weight. Without another thought, I lifted Aparajita into my arms and carried her to a nearby bench. She was sweating with pain. I handed her my handkerchief so she could wipe away the sweat and the tears that had gathered in her eyes. Meanwhile, the girls ran to a nearby shop to buy a juice can for their mother. As they were away, I gently examined her ankle and carefully massaged it to ease the pain. After a few minutes, the pain gradually began to subside. She looked at me gratefully. Thank you, I smiled. You may have two wonderful daughters, Aparajita, but even you need someone strong enough to support you at times. I paused before continuing. Your daughters are lovely and responsible. They will always stand beside you emotionally, but they are still children. They may hide their own fears and desires just to protect you, but it is your responsibility to understand what they cannot express. I looked towards the two girls who were anxiously returning with juice, packets, and chips. Look at them. They turned pale the moment they saw you in pain. They need their mother. And perhaps, I hesitated for a moment, their mother needs someone too. She quietly looked into my eyes. Mind my words, Aparajita. You should marry again. She did not answer. Instead, she lowered her eyes. A few moments later, Shristi and Sagrika returned. I quietly paid the shopkeeper for the snacks and juice before the girls could take out their money. I also asked him to prepare a few sandwiches for them. Leaving them together for a while, I moved to a nearby bench with my refreshments. As I sat there, I found myself reflecting upon life. How quickly situations change. Only a little ago, we had all been laughing and playing. And within moments, one small accident had changed the entire atmosphere. That is life. Joy and sorrow always travel together. Yet, I realized that every difficult moment becomes lighter when shared with people who truly care. Family is not merely about living under the same roof. It is about having someone who notices your pain before you speak of it. Someone who silently wipes away your tears without being asked. Someone who stands beside you when the world suddenly feels too heavy to bear. Living alone for so many years, I had convinced myself that I needed nothing more than my work and my memories. Today I realized how wrong I had been. Nature could comfort me. Children could make me smile. But none of these stayed with me once I returned home. Every evening I still unlocked an empty house. No tiny arms wrapped themselves around me. No cheerful voice called out my name. No one waited for my return. For the first time in years, I admitted to myself that loneliness was not strength. It was merely silence. I looked once again towards Aparajita. She had raised her daughters with remarkable courage. They adored her. Yet I also knew that there were storms she could never share with them. Children could never have to become their parents' emotional support. They deserve to remain children. Perhaps she needed someone, just as I did. Lost in these thoughts, I eventually stood up and walked back towards them. "How is the young lady now?" I asked playfully. "Is she still waiting for me to hold her hand?" She looked up with a smile. "When there's such a strong man standing before me, although terribly old, why shouldn't I?" And we both laughed. I bent slightly and extended my hand. "May I help you, young lady?" She silently placed her hand in mine. Together we slowly walked towards room number 110. Her daughters opened the door while I carefully helped her inside and made her comfortable on the couch. As I turned to leave, I suddenly felt a tiny hand gently holding mine. It was Shristi. "Uncle," she looked at me with innocent eyes. "Tomorrow we are going back home. Will you please have dinner with us tonight? I promise I won't talk too much. I'll let everyone eat peacefully." Her unusual seriousness touched my heart. I knelt down before her. How could I ever refuse my best friend? I hugged her gently. "But I want one promise from you." She nodded eagerly. "Promise me you'll always keep smiling. Promise me you'll always share your happiness and your sorrows with me. And from today onwards, I'm not your uncle. I'm your best friend." She smiled brightly. "Okay, friend." Then, after a brief silence, she asked me softly, "If we are all such good friends now, can't we all live together?" Her innocent question left me speechless. Before I could answer, Aparagita gently spoke. "Beta, Uncle lives in Delhi. Give him some time to finish his work there. Everything takes time." I looked at her in surprise. Did she really mean those words? Or was she simply comforting her daughter? Unable to understand what lay behind her smile, I quietly wished them good evening and returned to my room. But one question echoed in my heart all the way back. Did Aparagita truly mean what she had said?